Yeah! It is fight day, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. UFC London going down in T-minus 29 minutes and 34 seconds per the little countdown that I see on our wonderful graphic. And y'all know what time it is. It's the UFC London People's Pre-Fight Q&A. Hi, everybody. I'm Jed Meshew. You know me. I write for MMAfighting.com. That's why you're here. It's a great website with a great YouTube. And this is your show, everybody. Do it every week. We didn't do it last week because Vegas 104 was trash. And I also didn't realize I was supposed to be doing it last week until it was too late for me to make that work. But we are back because we have a good card. And so you know what it is. We're going to go for the next 28 minutes and some change here with your questions about anything in the world of combat sports. And joining me to do that, the wonderful, the best producer in the game, the baddest stash in the game, Mr. 3024 himself, Casey Leydon. Oh, and it is no sleeves, no mercy this morning. Casey, how are we feeling? Did you get a full English? I know you're just waking up. You know, you get the beans on toast for the morning. You ready to rock for a little, I guess for you, morning fights.
Yeah, I love morning fights. I love overseas fight nights are the best because you get these unique start times and it just makes it fun. I'm tired of losing my evenings. I want a Saturday evening. I get one. Thank you, UFC London. Thank you.
I don't quite get a Saturday evening. I guess it'll depend on how quickly this wraps up. I think our current plan for the post show is around 7:30ish Eastern time, but certainly will be a little short, and it's fine for me anyway. I don't hate an early start time whatsoever, and I kind of like this card. So like that's sort of what matters here. I think we're gonna have some fun for the next, what's that, 6+ hours, 7 hours?
Wait, you sort of like this card, or you like this card? Because
I really like the main card. The prelims is fine, right? It's not bad, but and there's some bright spots. Obviously, Marcin Tybura McParkin, like that's a bright spot, right? But like there's a lot of the prelim stuff that is just replacement level, but the main card is really, really good. I really like the main card. And so like this next 2 hours, I'm around, happy enough for it. But once we start getting into the meat of things, I think I intend to have a good time. Leon Edwards may decide I don't have a good time, or Sean Brady, frankly. Neither of them are the most compelling fighters in the cage. So we'll see how it ends. It could be one of those where like pretty decent card, but just a little 25 minutes of one-way action is not the most exciting usually. But we'll see.
Are you more interested in compelling fighters or just really good fighters? Because those are two different things, I feel like.
I'm obviously more interested in compelling fighters because I'm much more interested in things that are compelling. I think that's sort of the definition of the word.
No, because compelling. Because you don't find Marab compelling, and he's clearly a very, very good fighter. So I'm just kind of wondering your overview of fighting.
I would rather watch good, interesting fighters, and then good fighters, and then interesting fighters, and then replacement fighters. Like that's the stack. I'd like you to be good and interesting. I will at least, if you're just interesting, but not like actually good, if you're really, really interesting, then maybe you do actually supplant like good and boring. But like mostly again, I appreciate the main event. I'm not here to tell you the main event is bad. I'm just saying it could be one of those where we know the outcome 5 minutes in, and then it's just 20 more minutes of us getting to that outcome. But maybe it's not. Maybe this gets, maybe there's some compelling back and forth action, and it ends up being exciting. We don't want to cast aspersions at this point, but history has told us Leon Edwards and Sean Brady not typically the most exciting fighters who have ever.
I've always been excited to see Sean Brady. What am I missing? What am I missing of the Sean Brady here? I know he doesn't have maybe the biggest personality, but I've always found his fights fun to watch. I don't. Where's he coming from?
I enjoy watching him. I would never be like that is must see television. Sean Brady, you're not an MMA fan. You got to tune into this main event. This is going to get you. It's going to convert you.
I don't know. I think the bar is a little. I don't know. Maybe that's. I think you're setting the bar a little too high. Just I don't know. But I like this.
Yeah.
I like this. The more I was looking
I
at this
liked
card
the
this morning.
previous main event more. I still think this is a good main event
Oh,
and
okay. Just because you
interesting.
haven't
I
seen it
definitely like
before.
the previous main event more.
Just because striker versus striker kind of thing. More of
I
that,
just had a lot
or
more questions. I have one question for the main event. It's just one because if this question gets answered, I know how the fight goes. If Sean Brady can reliably get takedowns, the fight is over. If he cannot, I'm pretty certain that Leon is going to win this. Whereas, like, there are a lot more questions for the Jack Della fight. It was like, how does Jack Della look? He's been out for a really long time. He has traditionally looked really good as a striker, but Leon's pretty good at minimizing that. Like, that was just a more compelling matchup than this particular one. I'm not saying it is a better or worse matchup. I think that they are comparatively leveled of matchup as far as talented fighters, but I I think we are going to know the answer to this fight within like 3 minutes. And I don't think that the fight is going to then end shortly. I think it's still going to take us like 25 minutes to get the resolution to the answer we know is coming.
so it sounds like this. You would like this main event better, say if it was a co-main event and it was 3 rounds. Is it the extra 10
Yes.
minutes? Okay.
No, so I want them to fight 25. My apparently a controversial take because many people have pushed back over years. I think that the rankings are stupid largely, but I think if you're going to have like organizational rankings, you should use them to like every fight between ranked fighters should be 25 minutes because potentially that is a title eliminator. And if you're doing a title eliminator, it should be 25 minutes. I think these two men deserve the 25-minute main event. It's probably more in like if you swapped the main and co-main, it's probably going to result in a more interesting main event if Jan and Ulber get 25 as opposed to Leon and Sean get 25.
Fair enough. Cool. I actually love this fight night. Basically, it's like stakes. The two top fights, 1 and 2, have high stakes, and we don't like last week. We did not get that at all. Was it last week? Was that the bad fight
Yeah,
night?
last week
Okay.
there was arguably one fight with stakes, and it was the main event,
Yeah,
and that's even
barely.
kind of
Yeah,
questionable.
yeah. But this main event, serious stakes in the top two fights. So like it. I like this. I like the prelims are very prelim-y, but I think they're gonna be fine.
Prelim.
Yeah, it's a fight night.
Main card
So,
is really good. I'm really excited about the main card. There are certain bright spots on the prelims too. I got no real complaints about this fight card. I'm more than happy to kick things off in 22 minutes and watch some fights. But Casey, it's
all
not
right.
time for us to
I
chat
know.
about things. It's time for the people. This is the people's pre-fight show. So get your picks, get your questions in. We'll answer them for the next 20 some odd minutes before we get going. And Achilles Jr., you are up first. Casey looks like a gym teacher that wears his shorts too short. And I'm sorry, too short.
Too short.
And Jed looks like an MMA journalist with bad takes. Early card means early Bing rips. I don't think anybody has ever called me an MMA journalist before. So you know what? I'll take it. That's a win for me. And also, Casey, no such thing as too short shorts. Bring back the plum smugglers, I say.
Yes. Go early. Dads, a suburban dad in the early '80s knew where it's at. He had the thick mustache, short shorts, the crop top T-shirt. It was great.
That really is your entire like vibe.
I'm going for it. I'm going for it.
You were born a generation one late.
Yeah. Thank you, Keely Jr. Appreciate it. Appreciate
Thank you,
the
Achilles.
I think those are compliments. I'm not sure. I'll take them as compliments.
I'm gonna say they're compliments. They feel complimenty to me.
There you go.
The last stand, over under the amount of points that will be deducted due to fouls. Well, if I'm setting the line, you have to do 0.5 for the over under, but the under is a overwhelming favorite, minus 1,000 at least. They just don't deduct points, man. And that's not to say that this is going to be a clean fight card, Casey. I think there's going to be plenty of fouls. They're just not going to take a point ever because even the best refs don't do it. Jason Herzog last week, I think it was last week, just blowing my mind of being like, or was it Herb Dean? I don't remember who it was who like in between rounds, like, you got to stop cheating. And then he immediately cheats again. And he's like, you got to stop cheating. So, okay, what are we doing here, man? They're just never going to take them. It's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but I'm not going to tilt at that windmill that much anymore.
All right. Thank you. So are you going under? Is that the
Under
official?
for sure.
No,
100%
so
under.
13 fights, not 1 point deduction. All right.
Correct.
Are there
100% correct.
are there lines on those? Are there lines on point deductions for big fights? I guess, or like on whole cards in general.
Yes. There are lines on fights, not on whole cards.
Oh, okay.
But
Uh,
there definitely are lines occasionally. Because I used to really like doing like an eye poke thing just because it was like
yeah.
plus $2,000, but it was fun. But yeah, no, nobody's giving that action because they're not gonna. Why would you do it?
Just
It's
one.
never gonna happen. But
All
thank
right.
you, The Last Stand.
Thank you, Last Stand. I think I have one more super chat.
Fahim, is Dana waiting for the 315 outcome before booking Islam? I think probably yes. So 315 is the Bilal Muhammad Jack Della fight. If Jack Della wins, there's very much a world, I would say, where Islam Makhachev gets his opportunity to go up to welterweight and pursue a second title, particularly with Shavkat's out for a while, right? Like a knee injury is, hopefully he returns this year, but I wouldn't even say that it's like 100% he comes out this year. So I think that if I was the UFC, I would certainly be waiting to see if Jack Della pulls it off, because then you can do that and you can go interim lightweight fight between Ilya Topuria and Charles Oliveira or whatever. So I think the answer to that is probably yes. But Casey, what do you think?
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
Just you want to give yourself options.
There's a lot on the line. There's no need to rush the booking for Dana and the UFC. So yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, that really is the thing. Is like, if there was a clear cut contender at lightweight right now, and arguably there is, like Arman theoretically is that, but for he had the title shot and missed weight, didn't miss weight, but missed weight functionally. And so now they're going to make him fight another one. Like, in the absence of some obvious contender, they can wait around. They're not priced into moving quickly on this one. So yeah, I think they're absolutely going to wait.
And that would definitely mean, wait, so when's 315? 315 is May 10th. So
Correct.
that would definitely take Islam off the board. I don't know. Would that make him available for international, whatever that card is?
Possibly International Fight Week. It's the
Which is
June one.
very late June.
I would say unlikely, but not impossible.
Okay. Maybe behind the scenes they're training for it, but just not a particular fighter yet.
Particularly if it's going to be a lightweight title defense, then it's very possible. It's like, hey man, stay ready. There's a world where we want you to fight International Fight Week as the lightweight champion, but if Jack Della wins, we'll push it back to Abu Dhabi and have you fight for the welterweight title. Because I think I assume there's an Abu Dhabi in like October.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know if it was official. Yeah, maybe I missed it. There's a fight night. They just a fight night, right?
Yes, that sounds correct. They did in July,
but not a pay-per-view. Okay.
Yeah. Though I guess arguably they could turn that into a pay-per-view. Like,
yeah, right.
I don't think they have their pay-per-view. Yeah. They kind of do whatever they want. They've got a pay-per-view on June. Fight week is June 28th, and the fight night is the end of July. So like, it would be a month. They could just make that a pay-per-view if they wanted to do that, or they usually go to Abu Dhabi sometime in October. So certainly they could just be like, hey, Islam, you already fought once. Fight again in October. There you go.
All right. Thank you, Fahim.
Thanks, Fahim. Joseph Bellotti. Jen Casey, do you believe Dana when he said Jones versus Aspinall will happen this year? I do not. I just don't. Tom has repeatedly said they keep telling him it's going to happen. Dana adamantly yesterday on an interview with somebody, I don't remember who, was like, I'm going to paraphrase here. It's all done, but the signing, which doesn't mean anything. Like, oh yeah, that fight's booked, but for it being signed, it's like,
that's so the it's thing.
The signing is the one thing that makes it like sort of official, is when pen is put to paper.
What does that mean?
I think Tom posted an Instagram today of him with Mick Maynard. Not Mick Maynard, Hunter Campbell, actually, I think is who it was. So like, I think the UFC is trying nominally to make this fight happen. I just will not believe it is happening until they close the door behind them. Then I will believe that the fight is real. But until such time, any number of things, if it does somehow magically get booked, any number of things could prevent that fight from ultimately occurring. So no, I won't believe it until the cage door closes.
Yeah, I don't believe this fight's happening this year. But and one reason everyone keeps talking about the new broadcast deal, they have to get a big pay per view. But to me, if I'm the Netflix or what I just call it Netflix, I want Jones Aspinall. So why would they book potentially the biggest pay per view they could do? Right now, if their current crop, why would they book that for the previous people? I would if I like no hold that fight for a couple of months and that'll be the initial pay per view for the new broadcast partner. So that's why I do not think it's going to come this year. That makes
Also
sense.
reasonable. Yeah, I think that's a fair point. And I'll tell you at the other side of this too is like Tom has just reiterated over and over again. He does not want to fight John Jones specifically. He wants to be the champion because he deserves that. John is standing in the way by holding the belt. John Jones doesn't need the heavyweight title. He got it. Like, he checked off that box, however specious that belt of his may be. Like, he checked the box off. If John says, hey man, you can have the belt, I'm not retiring. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some time off and maybe we'll revisit this in the future. Then Tom can defend his title against whoever and John can come. And if John does ever decide to return and fight again, it will not be one pay-per-view by less because he is not holding the UFC belt. John is above the belt at this point in time.
He's
so
like Connor, like right now we watch Connor because
it just
Connor's
doesn't matter if he has a
I'm not
belt
gonna watch
tied or
him.
not. Yeah. So like, I think he can just bounce.
It's just I wonder how long the UFC is gonna stick with this. Like they're not stripping John. It's just weird.
I think if John does not consent to fight this summer, that is when I think the rubber will meet the road at that point.
Dude,
just be like, hey, John, just relinquish the belt. It's fine. And he'll do it.
Think how impressive that would be for John. Would that be his third time to be stripped of a belt?
Or fourth.
Fourth? If I lost count.
So he lost it with the car wreck. He got it taken from the car wreck. He lost it when his drug test popped.
DC. And then he vacated after Reyes.
DC. Then he vacated after Reyes. This would be his fourth time gone.
You know what? That's some GOAT status right there. I'm just saying.
I mean, losing the belt 3 times without actually losing in the cage is already like a record that's probably never going to get caught. 4 times, just be like, yeah, I'm out. I mean, it's impressive. It's really impressive how John's career is.
People don't talk about that. I think it needs to be out there. All right, thank you, Joseph.
Fahim, thoughts on Big Ankh Ali? I see what you did there, Joseph. Tweets and him as a champ. I'm guessing that means so far. Well, I strongly doubt that Big Ankh time is doing his tweeting himself. But I got no issues with the core like tweets. Like unless I'm missing something, and maybe I did. I haven't super kept up with it because we all know Ali's doing it. It's all been like, yeah, I beat Alex. I rewatched it. I beat Alex. Happy to run it back. We're working on running it back, and I'll do better next time. I will leave no doubt. Did I miss anything? Is there something? Did he do anything else that's like
I've ignored
talk shit about somebody?
It doesn't mean anything to me anymore. I feel in a personal bigger issue about Twitter and talking trash online. I think those days are kind of gone as far as significant meaning. I mean, I think it's still there, but I don't know. Like if these big Uncle tweets came out 10 years ago, 7 years ago, it's a big deal. But now it's just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I feel like the prize fighting game and trash talk game has kind of moved on from, I don't know, just Twitter trash talk. I don't know. I think I'm kind of waiting for that next thing. Have you noticed?
MMA Twitter died.
Yeah, that's what I
mean. Not like the MMA Twitter, like the community's still great or whatever, in general. But like, I mean, one, Twitter just got way worse, and this is not me doing a political thing. This is like, it's a demonstrably worse product than it was 2 years ago. You just can't, there's no interaction that's really viable because it's all bots and blue checks that are like not like there's just so many bots to the first response. It's just like generic, oh, that's cool or whatever. And then there's somebody being real racist. And it's just like, it's just garbage in that respect. But also like fighters, we've talked about this internally, certainly AK and I we put together morning reports and do like the social media section. The fighter stuff is just like, there used to be stuff. People used to
Yeah, yeah.
like talk
That's
shit. And now it's like a vast majority of MMA fighter Twitter is like hawking some form of a Bitcoin or a meme coin or like a political take or just like check out my OnlyFans or whatever. It's just like none of it's interesting anymore. And so yeah, like that's MMA Twitter in that regard has certainly fallen off. There's not like a lot of cool tweets happening anymore.
yeah. That's okay. I just making sure it wasn't just me. I just felt like
No,
yeah,
it's 100%. I almost every day I go through like a list of 400 fighter stuff and I'm just trying to find even marginally interesting things. And there's just almost none of it. It's like, here's me retweeting a political ad and you should check out my Dogecoin. And it's just like, dude, come on. Like, give me anything. Give me a freaking photo of you training. That would be better than what's going on here.
Thank you, Fahim. All right, what else we
Thanks,
got
Fahim.
here? Question for me.
Matt or fact? Casey, if you would have started training sooner, would you have tried to be a fighter? He is a fighter. Matt, I don't know if
Well, I know what you're saying, Matt or fact. I know I kind of talk about this with Esther a lot, and I'm kind of happy of how I kind of came into training. I didn't start until basically my very late 30s. I really didn't get serious about it until COVID. To be honest, so I don't know. It's just a path I found, and I'm kind of very happy I didn't discover this, say, in my 20s or my teens, because then I might have actually tried to pursue a career in this. And I trained with guys who are that right now, like super good prospects, and they're like 22, 23, and I just wish them the best because this is such a lottery. No matter how good you are, it's almost a lottery type of luckiness to become financially successful in this sport. And our coach even says that all the time. He's like, if you were in this room and you want to be a pro fighter, do not be in this room because you think you are going to get rich. You may get rich, but that cannot be your motivation because there's just too many variables. I don't know. What do you think, Jed? Kind
of. So I trained a bunch in college. Cause like I thought that maybe not that I would be a pro fighter, obviously. Cause I was never that talented, but like, that's when I started training was in college with the ultimate end of like, I will fight at some point and I won't, I'll see if I have an aptitude or whatever. And I was fine. Like I was not remotely like, that guy, he's going places or whatever. And I think that you did it the best because like I've been in a bunch of gyms at this point over, I don't know, whatever it is, 15 years of being somewhat involved in some capacity. And it's just like people like you, like guys who are above just like the occasional grapple day, like, which is really what I'm at this point. Like I'll go grapple like maybe once a week or something, just like because I know enough people and it's fun enough to do. But like people who are more committed to that as like a real aspect of their life, but not as like the focal point of their career, that feels like the sweet spot to me of enjoyment for partaking in the sport because it's just there's no chance of success. It's so small to kind of climb, and the harder you go at it, like Casey, I'm sure that this has been true for both you and your experience. The more you try, the worse physically it gets for you. Like the higher you try to climb, the more injured you are going to be as a result of it. And like, that just sucks. And wouldn't like that ultimately would have been the biggest blocker for me. Like I got injured enough training as I did, and much less being like trying to be a professional athlete. That seems terrible.
Yeah, and there's other things too. Like you just the commitment that the life commitment, just everything, energy, spiritually, mentally, you have to put into becoming a professional fighter is off the charts. To me, it doesn't even make sense. So like I've been around other fighters who were like they were like 6-0 as amateurs, and then they basically retired. They just kind of said, I just kind of want to move on with life. Yeah, because like you just don't develop you just don't develop as a full person. And that actually I want to talk about earlier, like getting into the sport late. It's like, yeah, it's like now I was a person. If you just kind of come, I think of like baseball players. They've been doing this since like 6 years old or whatever, and they're just kind of boring people a lot of times. They may be amazing, but they're just kind of boring people. And I feel like in fighting, that's not good. You can't be a boring person. And, I mean, you might be super, super, super good, but if you don't have a personality that kind of matches that, it's just hard to make money in the sport. So I don't know.
It's very hard.
This is a big question. Sorry.
No, it is, but like I think that's the right. This feels like the correct answer to me for all of this. Like if you are called to do it, then go be a fighter. Like if that's your passion. But it requires a lot of time and investment.
So much.
To make even remote headway into it, and the payoff is frankly just not there. Like
I think of Jalen Turner. He's top 10 fighter, incredibly talented, and he's like, dude, I'm just like. He's. Yeah.
And again, I don't want to beat this dead horse, not to like reopen this can of worms. This is legitimately why everybody should care about fighter pay, because if fighter pay was better, more people, the math would make more sense for more people to do that. Be like, oh, this is actually a real career. Like I can make money to set myself and my family up for the rest of my life. Not I can make, if I am one of the 10 best fighters on the planet of Earth, I can make the same as like a moderately successful dentist. There's just the only reason to be a professional fighter is that is your calling. Yeah. And even then, that's still probably not a good reason.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt.
But thanks, Matt. RS40, Allen versus the Law would have been dope in this card. I agree. That would have been a terrific addition. Is Yusuf Law booked? Isn't he booked against somebody?
Not yet. He had the Cater victory that everyone was unhappy with, but he did win. And Arnold Allen is injured right now.
I know Arnold Allen is recovering from his injury at this point. I don't know how far along in that, but yeah, that would have been sick.
Yeah, this fight, that just makes sense. But I think this fight's fine. This fight's fine. But Allen's Law will be a good fight for any future card, I feel.
Yes, that will almost certainly be a Apex headliner, would be my guess.
Yes. This one's for you, Jed.
Oh. Lazy Bed, Jed and Casey. Say McParkin beats Tybura impressively and strings together a few more wins. Do you have an Aljo Marab situation at heavyweight with Big Tom and Mick? We do not, because McParkin is just not that good. I mean, I guess there's a world where, yes, that could happen, though it would be obviously demonstrably worse because there's no other. Like, at least there was always the Aljo can just move up or whatever line. Like, that can't. Neither of these two dudes can fight in a different weight class. But no, because I would be quite surprised. Like, I think every fighter thinks that they're the best fighter in the world. I'm pretty sure that Mick Parkin is aware that Tom Aspinall is better than him. And so wouldn't be like, I need to fight Tom to prove I'm better. Like, I think that they'd just be like, it won't be the best case scenario. This is instead like a Shogun Vanderlei pride situation. We're just like, yeah, they're never going to fight each other. And he's just holding the fort for the next thing. But no, because I don't think McParkin is a top 5 heavyweight. He might be a top 10, but I don't think he's top 5.
Someone would have to change dramatically with his fighting for obviously, like, or I don't know, a bunch of heavyweights just retire tomorrow.
Yeah, but like, he gets an opportunity to prove he's top 10 and just like an hour and a half now, whatever.
Tabura, top
buddy,
10?
I'm pretty sure Tabura's like number 9 in the UFC rankings. Let me take a look here. Let me confirm what I'm saying. Oh, number 8. And that's not
Oh,
counting the champ. So technically the ninth best heavyweight in the world, according to the UFC, which honestly is fair. Like, he's lost to the dudes above him and he's beat the dudes below him. Pretty much how
yeah,
it's gone.
he's the heavyweight. No, Neil Magny. I don't know what everyone's got that guy. Yeah, that he's the no, heavyweight. Yeah, um,
All right, let
Vittori.
me pull up and see if the fights have. I know that the fight card is supposed to start right around now, but has it actually kicked off? Ah, the fight card is kicking off. No one's making a walk yet.
All right,
Casey, maybe like one more question, and then we
one
can
more.
jump into our picks.
Yeah,
If
let's
there's
do that.
anything else that jumps out.
Someone asked about Molly McCann.
Master of the Universe Classic, Jed Mustache. Considering Molly had to take some time out after her losses a while back, understandable. If she loses, do you think we could see her retire? Casey, what do you think? Do you think that a loss might be the end of the career of one meatball Molly McCann?
She's coming off a victory. No, it lost. Okay. Oh, lost to Bruno Brazil.
She's 1-3 in her past
Yeah.
4.
You know what? If it's a retirement, it's gonna be. It's a bit like how I was talking about Jalen Turner in a sense, lower, ranked. But it's just like, what's the point at this point for Molly McCann? It's just she'll be fighting for paychecks, and yeah, she'll be popular. I think she can probably get a couple more fights in the UFC, make 50 grand or whatever. But if she loses bad, yeah, I could see it's up to her. It's more of her just moving on in life. That's about it. But otherwise, but I don't think the UFC will get rid of her off a loss. That's if you're asking that.
I definitely don't think the UFC will dump her. I doubt she quits. She feels like someone who's
34.
really,
She's
she's
34,
34.
about to turn 35 in a month.
Yeah.
So
But she feels like somebody who just really loves fighting, like she just loves all the parts of it. And eventually, your body just says no. I don't think she's to that phase of her career yet. I think she's just, even when she came into the UFC, everybody was pretty on board of like, she's really fun. She's very popular. She's not all
yeah,
that good. Like she's not bad, but she's not like great. And so she's never going to get like to the top of the mountain despite being popular. But I still think that she really, every time I've heard her talk about stuff, when I've met her in person, been around her at events, she has seen like this is just something that she really, really likes to do. And so I would guess that she'll stay competing for a little bit, even if she loses. It will be tough though to be like 1-4 in your past 5. That's just never a great look. And so she might need to do some soul searching and figure out how to get more wins than she's putting up lately. But I think she won't retire anytime soon.
okay. Yeah, she's staying at strawweight. Okay, good for her. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad this is at strawweight for her. Yeah, yeah. But like Molly McCann, one of those people, great personality. Not necessarily gonna be a permanent top 10 fighter, but always exciting fights, and we still talk about her.
And they
So
go to England once or twice a year, and she will blow the roof off the place every time. So like she'll probably have a home in the UFC as long as she wants it at this point. And honestly, I get it. Like you really like doing this. This is your job. You get to fight in front of a rabid crowd of your countrymen once or twice a year. Seems like a pretty good gig.
yeah, wish her
All
the
right,
best.
Casey, let's hop in as the event is kicking off in moments. So let's do the thing. Let's do some predictions
Yeah.
for our main card opener, a featherweight banger between Nathaniel Wood and Morgan Charrier. Casey, how do you got this one going?
I still what actually? Yeah, I went what's his name? What's his nickname? The pirate. What's his
The last pirate, Morgan
last pirate?
Charrier.
Chardonnay. Yeah, I'm going him by decision. I don't really have a good feeling on this, but I don't know. I know he's a name. He's pretty exciting, so I'm just gonna go with the more clickable name on this.
I think that that's not a bad way to go. I do want Morgan Charrier to talk with Chara Bullet and see who is truly the last pirate in MMA at this point. But I think Charrier's just a little bit bigger than Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel Wood has been great since moving to featherweight, but I just don't really think he's like he feels tweenery. Like he is not comfortable with the bantamweight cut, but just seems a little small at featherweight.
Yeah,
I think Sharia is a more dynamic fighter. He's bigger, should get his hand raised. I've got him winning by decision.
me
A
too.
lightweight contest next up. Casey Jordan Vucinic taking on Chris Duncan, the second Chris Duncan who will be competing this afternoon. How do you see this one going?
I don't know anything about Jordan Vucinic other than the fact that he lost to Guram, and Guram is on the first fight of the card, and he's on the main card. I'm just kind of, I don't, I just don't know very much about this fighter.
Former Cage Warriors champion, in fact, beat Morgan Charrier to claim the Cage Warriors belt.
Um,
Also, Casey has a decision win over Paul Hughes.
oh wow, no decision lost. I see it lost.
Oh, he has both. They split fights.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got you.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
split fights.
Okay. Now it's coming back. All right, now the conversation I remember
He
having about him is
has
coming
a
back.
million tattoos. His
Yeah.
whole body is tattooed functionally.
Well, I'm going with the heavily tattooed fighters because that's how MMA works, and
It is, he's tough. He's much
yeah,
tougher because he has the tattoos. I think that's a good pick. I am priced into backing Chris Duncan this week because Chris Duncan is in the Chris Duncan parlay,
I
and
figure,
that is
yeah.
currently 100% success rate. We're trying to go to 2-0 with the Chris Duncan parlay. Vucinic is obviously a very wily striker, but if Chris Duncan can just get takedowns, he can win this fight because that's basically what Guram did. And so I'm backing Chris Duncan, major underdog. And now we get on to the aforementioned Meatball Molly McCann taking on Alexia Thainara, making her UFC debut, a strawweight contest. Casey, how do you got it?
Meatball Molly, KO round 3. It's gonna be a heck of a fight. This is gonna be I don't know. Y'all must forgot, but like, hey, she's still here, Meatball Molly. She's still a quality fighter. I think she's gonna do it. I think it's gonna be big. I think it might be one of the biggest pops of the night too.
It'll definitely be the biggest pop of the night if she gets a dub here. If she gets like another spinning back elbow KO, I am kind of rooting for her to do it because I like Molly McCann. Every time I've spoken with her, she is just a wonderful lady. Good energy, good vibes, and I want her to continue to fight and have success in the promotion. AK, I don't want to speak for AK. AK did some digging into Alexia Thainara yesterday and was just like hitting me up. Was like, this woman, she's gonna kill Molly. And I was like, I don't know if she's gonna kill her, but I can see how she does kill her if it happens. I am priced into Thainara here just as I think she can get takedowns, and Molly McCann's gonna really struggle because Thainara is talented on the floor, and that's a tough thing. So, but maybe the bright lights are too big. Her UFC debut is in a rabid London crowd against one of the most popular English fighters there is. So, bright lights might get too big for her. Our feature bout of the evening, Casey, Kevin Holland taking on Gunnar Nelson in a welterweight contest. Holland back at 170 after a failed foray up to middleweight again. Gunnar Nelson, first time fighting in 2 years. Last time he fought, March of 2023. How do you see this very clear stylistic matchup going?
Gunnar Nelson, you still got it. Second round submission.
I'm going the opposite. I think
Ooh.
Gunnar Nelson does not still have it because he hasn't fought in 2 years.
Yeah.
I will look very stupid, and I know exactly how this will go wrong if it goes wrong. If Gunnar Nelson comes out and just hits a blast double, oopsie daisies, I was incorrect. But I think Holland at welterweight is much better than he is at middleweight. I think he's a much better wrestler at welterweight.
Definitely.
Yeah. I just think he's also a much better wrestler. Like Michael Chiesa had no success scoring takedowns on him at welterweight. He just can't get out physical in the way he does at 185 in those things. And a vastly more dynamic striker than Gunnar Nelson. Plus 2-year layoffs always give me a bit of pause. I'm going Kevin Holland with an early knockout.
That's probably the smarter pick. I'm telling you right now, that's the more logical pick, honestly.
The odds are in favor of Gunny Nelson at this point in time. So we'll see. But our co-main event, Jan Blachowicz, former light heavyweight champion, taking on the surging Carlos Ulberg, who I believe is on a 7-fight win streak. How do you see this one going, Casey?
I am going for my light heavyweight fantasy pick. Carlos Ulberg will win by 29-28 decision.
Man, I have the exact same thing. I think Jan is going to lose, but he's going to make it grimy because that's how Jan Blachowicz fights. It is hard to look good against
Yep.
him unless you can take him down and Glover him. Otherwise, he is just going to make it a real slog to look good against, which is a hell of a skill to have. But he's still 42 years old, coming off a major shoulder injury and a long layoff. I don't like any of that. Carlos Ulberg, I think, just slightly edges it with movement, footwork, and gets 29-28.
Younger, more
year.
athletic, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, younger, more athletic, not having a shoulder surgery. Those are all big reasons why.
Yeah, and athleticism in the 205 division is extremely. Yeah.
It's a dirty cheat code.
Yeah.
And if that happens, Casey,
but I do think Ulberg though. I'm sorry, but the Ulberg, I think he will win, but it's going to look so ugly, he will not get a title shot from it.
I could see that as well. If it happens, you will continue to about 100% in your draft picks for winners. Currently, Dricus du Plessis, way to come around. Merab, Manel Kopp. Although, granted, the Kopp one, you got a little bit of lucky there in that he got Almabayev instead of Royval, so that could have gone differently, potentially. Eileen Perez, Wang Song, and Zhang Weili have all delivered big points. It's why you are not technically the leader in the scorecards, but you are sort of the odds-on favorite to win at this point, especially if Carlos Ulberg gets it done for you. And Casey, that takes us to our main event. Leon Edwards, former welterweight champion, first fight back since losing the belt to Bilal Muhammad. Sean Brady. I basically already kind of told you what I think is at play here, but how do you think it ends up going, Casey?
Feels weird saying this out loud, but I think Sean Brady's going to win a semi-dominant decision. It won't be the most compelling fight, but I think Sean Brady will look like an elite welterweight who should be fighting for the title soon.
I won't be shocked. I'm going the other way. Leon Edwards feels proven to me, and for some reason, I've just never gotten over the hump in believing in Sean Brady. I think that he is a good fighter. I'm just not sure he's a great fighter. While I have my own issues with Leon at points, I think that he is very clearly a great fighter. I expect him to put on a better performance than he did against Bilal, defend takedowns, and sort of have a classic Leon Edwards decision win. 49-46, maybe a 48-47 card in there, but clear-cut win. And Casey, that is it, and we did it perfectly because right now Guram Kutataladze is getting his introduction from Bruce Buffer as he takes on Cowie Fernandez. Jason Herzog, the referee, and we are seconds away from the fights kicking off, so thank you for joining us, everybody. Brilliantly timed on our part. Keep it locked here at MMAfighting.com. We got all the coverage you need on the website, all the highlights, everything if you're not watching live, and you can have a post show as soon as the final fight's end. A couple minutes later, rocking a post show, me and Casey to talk about all the big important things and see who is winning the fantasy league after the latest update. Thanks for joining in for the People's Pre-Fight Q&A, and let's go Connor Burks. Let's see how you do against Cowie Fernandez, baby. Woo! Love you.
Uncrowned, baby. Uncrowned.